I have to admit, I actually rather enjoyed this episode. Probably my favorite one so far, which I know isn't saying much, as we're at the third episode. But I'm curious if you guys will, kill me with sticks because of the fact that I like this episode. It actually made me laugh even, the bit where Ezra's like, I shall reach out and use the Force to lift the bull into the air, and Chopper's just lifting up. That actually got me. Then Chopper was a dick for the entire rest of the episode, and I suddenly stopped liking the character anyways. It's a day in the life episode, and I tend to like day in the life episodes, lower decks episodes as they are sometimes called. They're just getting supplies. They're just trying to help the local farm, which is being seized by the Imperials. That's it. And you know what? I like that. I like that stakes. I like that perspective. I like the way they kind of weave Ezra's past into things. Kind of showcase that he used to have a connection to these people, thanks to his dead parents. We get some little tiny tidbits of characterization to help move them forward. Probably the only thing I really don't like about this episode is at the beginning of the episode, Zeb and Ezra are like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," and then by the end of the episode, they're like, "We're super buddies." And I know, that's typical. The issues have to be resolved by the end of the episode because we can't have cross-episode arcs. That would be insane. But I do nevertheless like basically everything else about this episode. I mentioned earlier, the threat. The only threat is like a single squad of stormtroopers and one guy in a uniform who's bullying a local farmer to sell their land and then seizing it when he refuses to. I'm with that. It would have worked a little bit better if they weren't the droids from Clone Wars, which that's continuing to be shown, by the way. Consistently, the Imperials are shown to be cartoonishly incompetent. It's kind of horrible. I'm not liking it. We'll see where they keep going with it, but just whatever. I do want to mention one other tiny little bit of characterization that I liked. So there's the bit where they've got most of the supplies, and like, where the hell are we going to find Melu-runs? Oh, hey, there's a crate of them. And in that moment, thanks to the editing and the showcasing, it's pretty clear that they could have probably just tried to grab one right then and there and stolen it and left. Boom, done. Now this is the characterization because it doesn't occur to them to even do so. Why would it? These are the locals. Why would you want to steal from the locals? Right? I mean, that just, it wouldn't even occur to them. Because why would it? However, the moment they notice that it's Imperials, well, okay, yeah, now we're absolutely going to steal it from them, because screw those guys, am I right? I like that. This is also probably the first time I'm going to mention this. I've noticed Rebels has more, shall we call them, distinct commercial breaks than Clone Wars had. It's something I notice a lot in most other television that is designed around a commercial structure. Star Trek is probably one of the most obvious examples. And then we're going to do this. Da-da-da-da. And then back from the commercial break, And every now and again it just does that. It feels weird. I know, commercial breaks are a thing here in the States. We're not, this isn't Britain. We don't have the other method of funding television. It's just, it feels weird, and it just kind of keeps smacking me upside the head each time I see it. We'll see if I ever get used to it by the end of the show. Anywho, that TIE F, the fighter, is astonishingly maneuverable. Did you notice that? Being able to pull off just absolutely incredible maneuvers while rotating around. Now, we do know that TIE Fs actually do have a repulsor lift drive, which operates regardless of its rotation. So that's actually canon. That makes sense. It's just, it's a cartoon. It's a TIE F. It's basically a piece of wet cardboard flying through the air. It might have, if it had glanced against the wind in the wrong direction, it might have exploded. So I'm kind of amused with what they did with that. I have to admit also that Zeb is starting to grow on me a little bit. I liked him in the last episode, and I like where they're going with him in general. And it's not just because of Steve Blum, although that is part of it. I do have two other things very quickly to mention on. First of all, I do like that the Imperial commander is mildly competent, and I know that's very faint praise, but the fact that he actually catches on very quickly and very smoothly to the fact that they are being conned is a good sign, because it would have been very easy for the writers to just continue to write him as a bumbling moron, and that would have taken me even further out of the narrative. And the last thing I wanted to mention on is, wait, you did this all for fruit? Since, Anyways, decent enough episode. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully we'll actually hit the button correctly this time.